Does getting regular trims really help your hair grow? And the answer is hello, everyone. Welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Bridget. I am the Healthy-ish hairstylist, and today I want to talk about 3 essentials for healthy hair. My intention is to keep these videos around 10 to 15 minutes to be respectful of your time, but also so that the information that you're receiving can be easily digestible and you can actually take it and apply it to, in this case, your hair. The first essential for healthy hair is scalp health, okay? So think about your scalp, which a lot of people actually forget about. I've been a hairstylist over 10 years, and scalp treatments are becoming more popular and more spoken about through like social media and education and whatnot. But for a long time, even when I started, people weren't really talking about scalp health. So now I do a scalp treatment of some sort before I wash my hair every single time. So sometimes it's oil treatments and sometimes it's actually a professional scalp treatment. And it has improved the health of my hair so much. Your scalp really has 2 levels to it: what's below the surface and what's above the surface. So I like to talk about what's below the surface, like soil, okay? If you're trying to plant something, you want this plant to grow, you have to have healthy soil. And so that's going to be things like the oxygen and nutrients that are provided through blood vessels underneath the surface to the hair follicle, which healthy hair starts at the follicle, okay? We can't see it, but that is where it starts. So you can be using all of the products that you want on your hair, but if you don't have a healthy foundation, you don't have that healthy soil underneath, you're consuming garbage foods, you're not conscious of what you're consuming and providing nutrients that are beneficial for your hair, then there's going to be a problem, okay? And at the end of the day, hair is not essential for life. I can shave my head right now and absolutely nothing would change about my health. That being said, your health does impact your hair. If you want healthy hair, a healthy scalp, and hair that actually grows, you need to be conscious of what you're consuming. So that's like the soil part of it, okay? And now we've got what's above the surface. And that is things like the products that you're using, these scalp treatments that you're doing, the stimulation, whether that be through your own scalp massage or using a scalp stimulator. And I will link another video that I just did for one of my pre-shampoo routines. So you can take a look at that if you want after you're done watching this. And so that's our scalp health. We want to take care of what's under the surface and what's on the surface. And I'm not going to dive too deep into each of these things. We can do that in the future. But for now, number 1 is your scalp health. Number 2 is going to be your mid-lengths. So what we want to focus on with that is moisture and strength, okay? So moisture, also called porosity, is your hair's ability to maintain, to hold on to moisture, okay? So the more moisturized your hair is, the more shiny it's going to look, the softer it's going to be. The less moisturized, the more dehydrated it is, the more prone to, maybe it's going to be more frizzy, more prone to breakage. So there's 2 ways that we want to have moisture in our hair. And the first is going to be in the hair shaft itself, beneath the cuticle. The way to lock in that moisture inside the hair shaft itself is going to be through things like deep conditioning masks or hydration, professional hydration treatments maybe. That's how you're going to get that deep moisture, okay? The second way that we're going to lock in that moisture is through things like leave-in conditioners or serums that you put on after you've washed your hair. And that's going to seal it down. That's going to lock it in, okay? Because there's no point in providing moisture for your hair if it's just going to leak out. So we need to lock that in. So that's going to be the moisture aspect, okay? Then we've got the strength. And there's 2 different types of bonds in your hair. So without getting too sciencey on you, the first is disulfide bonds. And these are going to be the strongest of the bonds in the hair. They can be broken through things like perms, chemical lightening, or chemical services, permanently change the hair structure. And then there's the hydrogen bonds. So the hydrogen bonds are weaker technically, but there are strength in numbers. So weaker does not mean less important. And so Disulfide bonds, if you think about a product that might help repair your disulfide bonds, because they can be repaired, a product like K18 focuses mainly on disulfide bonds. And then you've got your hydrogen bonds. Again, there is strength in numbers. And the product that I actually use, I personally work with Aveda, so I will probably reference Aveda a lot in my videos because it's what I have the most experience with. But what I like to use for repairing hydrogen bonds, providing that strength in hair, is Aveda's Botanical Repair line. The entire line focuses on repairing those hydrogen bonds. And I'll also just mention as a side note that there are ways that you can add protein into the hair, okay? But I will caution you that adding protein into the hair, you can do something called overproteinize, which I've done before when I first started doing hair. I didn't know that overproteinization was a thing, and I was using a specific hair mask that was for protein, for strength, and I was like doing it all the time because I'm like, this is amazing. I want my hair to be like really strong because it was like bleached and blonde at that time. And then my hair started breaking and I didn't know what that was. So I quickly learned that overproteinization can actually do the opposite effect that you want it to. So if you are using products that have protein in it, I would just caution you in that and being aware of that. Okay, so that is our number 2, moisture and strength for our mid lengths. Okay, so we've got scalp health, we've got moisture and strength in the mid lengths, and now we're going to talk about end repair. The first way to repair your ends is with regular trims. So if you are not taking care of your ends will take care of themselves, and they do that by splitting and breaking off. Okay, so we do not want that. We do not want split ends. We also do not want your hair to cut itself. So we keep regular trims for that way. I will say, I believe it's a myth out there that getting regular trims, my clients ask me this all the time, does getting regular trims really help your hair grow? And the answer is no. It doesn't change the way that your hair grows from your scalp, but it does stop your ends from breaking off themselves, so you maintain length this way while your hair still grows as it naturally would. So you give your hair a chance to grow longer, and that is the truth. So that is the first way that you're going to take care of your ends, is getting regular trims. And then just like the mid lengths, sealing in that moisture, we want to do the same for the ends to keep that end nice and sealed to prevent splitting. At the end of the day, it is pretty much impossible to completely prevent and stop split ends from happening, even if you do all the right things. But sealing it down with something like a hair oil. Right now I'm using a dry oil because it's not heavy at all. I could literally put it on. I put it on morning and night and my hair just soaks it up. So I'm using that on my mids as well. That's another way that you could lock in that moisture, but also on my ends. Okay, so sealing that down. You can also do it with things like serums or split end repairs, which most split end repairs are like a serum. And there's overnight serums actually, which I only started learning about like a year or two ago. I can't remember when Aveda came out with them, but there's 2 specifically from the Botanical Repair line. Again, that's going to focus more on strength, sealing those ends down. It's literally helping. I forget, it's like 87% split ends repaired overnight. Like, it's wild how well that works. So that's going to focus more on that strength. And then the Nutriplenish line, also from Aveda, is going to focus more on that moisture. Okay, so those will both be great for not only your ends, but also your mid lengths. And it's something that you just put on at nighttime. I love it because it gives you a routine to kind of do at night for your hair, and it just works while you're sleeping. Okay, so that's amazing. So now we have covered, and this is just coming, probably going to be around 10 minutes, so we're right on time. I hope this was helpful. Those 3 essentials again for healthy hair is scalp health, moisture and strength for your mid lengths, and then we've got end repair. Okay, so keep those in mind when you are taking care of your hair. making sure that you have a routine for each of them because that is so important. We are truly a manifestation of our habits, and our hair is no different than that. So if you want me to dive deeper into any of these topics, leave me a comment with any questions or concerns that you might have with your hair. I will do my best to address them, to create videos and content that is relevant to you and can help you on your hair, health, and healing journeys. So with that said, I'll see you in the next one.